What a beatdown at Hard Rock. Canes win 38-10 over Syracuse, and I'm in a little bit of a different setting. It's like an emergency room because my upper side of the house is occupied with gamers. So, yeah, that's the real reason. But let us go over this game. I don't think this is going to take too long. Carson Beck had a little better game than he did last week. Collins with 2 interceptions, including the most bizarre one. It's the early part of the game. It was boring. I don't think you guys want to talk about punts and the punting drives and how frustrating it is to even get a pass off. I don't think Joe Drader was that great, to be honest. He should have caught the football that was totally wide open, but he just ends up not catching the football, and these punts just keeps happening and happening and happening. In fact, I'm kind of sorry to say this, but I kind of fell asleep when some point during the game. I was falling asleep right there. I was falling asleep. In some cases, I didn't, but I felt like I was about to fall asleep. But finally, one of the touchdown drives started off with a 25-yard pass to Marion for 25 yards, which is a good start. Then a 41-yard passing to Upshaw. Yeah, this is Upshaw now getting the pass reception. 12-yard pass then to Moore, and then 14-yard pass is actually a fake play. There's a fake play. Malachi Tony has the football. Then he actually passed it to Carson Beck himself. And Beck got in for the touchdown. What a trickery came up with by Shannon Dawson and Martin Cristobal. That would make it a 7-0 game. Then the next drive, Syracuse. Collins throws a pick six to Scott. Scott with a 38-yard pick six to Syracuse. Touchdown Hurricanes to automatically make it a 14-0 game for the Miami Hurricanes. So not only we got a trickery play, but we also got a pick six within that span. Totally awesome. And then 10 plays into the Syracuse drive, Willis goes in for rushing yards, rushing the football with no huddles. Willis then fumbles the football, then it was recovered by Scott. So he is a turnover machine right now. And they fumbled the football, and Scott recovered it for the Hurricanes. This was a wonderful, wonderful defensive half for the Hurricanes. And albeit a pretty boring half, but the defense was pretty darn good. It was awesome. Halftime rolls around. Syracuse has the football back. It starts off with a 23-yard rush for Nixon. 12-yard pass, Collins to Gill Jr. Then Collins gets sacked a lot in this game. A lot. Ultimately, Woody ends up kicking the field goal for 38 yards to make it a 14-3 game for the Hurricanes. Then the next drive, Carson Beck throws it right down the middle to Keelan Marion, and Marion was gone. Easy play for a touchdown for 61 yards to the house to make it a 21-3 game for the Hurricanes. And they did it again. 9-yard play drive for this touchdown drive for the Hurricanes. Malachi Tony is rushing the football. Malachi Tony was just everywhere. He was awesome in this game. Lofton with the reception, and then eventually 19-yard touchdown rush is Pringle. Pringle scores for a touchdown for the Hurricanes to make it 28-3. Then next drive, Collins that gets sacked 11 yards. And then the next play, he throws a pick to Jacoby Thomas. And by the way, Jacoby Thomas was the one that sacked Collins for Syracuse. But then the next play wound up being one of the most bizarre interceptions I've seen in our home team. Basically what happened was the pass was intended to Gill Jr., number 15, right? And the ball ended up popping off his hands while he was on the ground. And Jacoby Thomas needless to say, it was a pretty good reflex. He ends up picking it off without realizing it, and there was no whistle. And when there's no whistle, that typically means the play continues. So when he realized there was no whistle, then he starts running. They go for replay, and they were looking at if the nose of the football hit the ground, and I could not tell if that nose of the football hit the ground or not. For when I keep seeing it, I don't think it did, and the referees did not think so either. This was wind up being an upheld review, and Jacoby Thomas with a interestingly bizarre interception, and we'll take those. But it'll end up in the field. It ends up going into the field goal with Carter Davis, 36 yards. Then it ends up being a 31-3 game for the Hurricanes. Fourth quarter, we'll skip a couple of possessions. We'll go to this drive with Syracuse. There was a Hill. I don't know if it's the Tyreek Hill. I'm just kidding. Hill rushed for 12 yards. That's enough for the first down. They're not huddling They're not huddling, right? Then there's another 15-yard rush for Hill. Then another 3-yard rush for Hill, 2nd and 7. Hill rushed for 2 more yards. Nixon then rushed for 15 yards. So the clock is winding down as the possession goes along. And eventually ends up being 4th down. And 4th down, Collins gets sacked for 15 yards. 15-yard sack. It was awesome to see. Then the next possession goes for the Hurricanes. 12-yard rush for Pringle Jr. for 12 yards. 2-yard pass to Joseph Trader. 2nd and 8. Pringle rushed for 4 yards. 3rd and 4. 30-yard pass to Marion again. Marion was awesome in this game. And then the 3-yard rush. Actually, it was not even a rush. It was more like a lateral pass from Beck. This was a pass. I don't know why I said it's a run. This was a pass to Francis Magua, our big man offensive line. He catches the football and he scores. He scores. So Magua gets a touchdown out of this drive. It was just absolutely awesome. Big man touchdown. You love to see it more often than not. I love it. I love it. It was awesome. Then it becomes a 38-3 lead for the Hurricanes. Eventually, Syracuse would get this touchdown in this drive as a new quarterback comes in. It's Filardi, their backup quarterback. He was able to get them to the touchdown. He got sacked for 8 yards, but then a 17-yard pass is to Washington Baker for 17 yards to make it 38-10 game, and that's pretty much your ball game right there. The final score is 38-10, a big bounce back win, and a win that hopefully keeps them alive in the playoffs. So that is awesome to see. As let's go Canes. The season's still alive, kinda, but they're going to need a lot of help, and right now some other teams are not helping them at all. So this is why it was really bad that we lost against Louisville, and especially losing against SMU, because then we were in this predicament and we need some help from other teams, which is absolute bullshit. You don't want that. They did this to themselves. But this good enough. This is good where they were able to get things going. It was awesome. So their next game for the Hurricanes is next week. Is NC State Wolfpack at home, our final home game of the season. And the next 2 games are on the road. Both are probably, actually, not so much with Virginia Tech, although you don't want to underestimate Virginia Tech. But the game after that, though, Pittsburgh Panthers. Pittsburgh Panthers, that is the team to watch. I think that's going to be a primetime game. This is going to be after Thanksgiving, so we're going to see what happens. So next week is against NC State Wolfpack at home. You don't want to underestimate NC State, of course, but something to keep an eye on. But celebrate this win for now, and we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. 3 more videos to come. Hopefully some good news. Hopefully some good news, please. Because I will love some good news from one specific game. Please, 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 I'm begging. But anyway, guys, that's good to do it for this one. As always, go Canes. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content, because Miami 2 you guys are back. And when he does, he'll be right there with you for your team you deserve. I'll see you guys tonight. Have a good one.